Good morning. Now I'm going to share with you today the original teaching from the Buddha himself. What is the knowing about the world and the mind-body, and how to targeting to the practice that you can overcome the stress, or what we call that need to be purified all the defilements and suffering in the life itself, to end of the life attachment, to be liberated, especially mind, mentally liberated. This is the goals of what the Buddha Dharma means. Here is something that Agama means, the original teaching recorded by the very close disciple of him after his bodily decay passed away of 3 months later. So the correction of his teaching, we have 2 translated material. One is in Chinese, we call it Agama. One is right now in English, we call it the connected discourses of the Buddha. So I quote a little bit from my understanding of him, how he viewed to the world and to this mind-body world. So we start from here. The first one is, I put it in this way: the emergence of the material and physical worlds is established by the combinations of cause and condition. The Buddha, knowing what is the rising and ceasing of the world and of the mind and body, he said, all is about conditions. So condition means something is related to something. Nobody cannot say this is the original. No. When you say original, it means it comes from something else to start. Yeah, that is what in the Buddha's understanding. So he mentioned the world's existence into 3. And you can see formations, existence, disintegration, and emptiness. That is talking about material world. So he made the conclusion the material world is ongoing of changing condition. So you can see he named 4 changing conditions. That is what you can see here. In Chinese, we call that 成住坏空, means on processing of existence. Very close, or maybe just accurate what scientists knowing from the Western world. We call that science come out changing of knowing the conditions. Not saying that God is the only. So science discover something not like the God mentioned. So the Buddha discovered something not the Almighty God in Indians' understanding. So maybe Buddha is some kind of science in Indian civilization. So he mentioned about the material world. And then he mentioned about the physical world of all living beings' life. We have that aging, born, aging, sick, and death. That is the living life. Means what is the living life and the world, material world, different? Living life means he got clinging and conscious. That called mentality. So material world or plantation that don't have action of mentality. But the living life, no matter very tiny creature, they have mental activity and bodily activity joined together. So bodily activity is self, combination of self. But the self is not seeing very accurate that they have conscious and they have clinging, but more bigger self joined together, then they have sensation, they have feeling, perception, mental formation, like that. So we call that mind-body combination. And no matter what, so the four marks of existence, arising, abiding, changing, and ceasing, that's mostly talking about mental. So mental also have something ongoing or changing. In Buddhism, we don't have a fixed thing called soul, but we have something changing to something, continue processing. The mental also like that. They call rising, existing, or abiding. Abiding means attached to something, name or form. Then continue changing, keep up and grab again. Like when you walk into the step, rising the step, keep up, touching again, and keep up, touching again, like that. So ongoing or processing, moving. So we call that karma, action. Only action. Universal also have the force on action of his elements. Wind, fire, earth, water, means these four elements keep moving. So the ecology of our world also like that. You know, it keeps changing of the elements for the atom, nucleus, electronic, we talk that. No matter what, vibration keep moving. So that is very close to what the Buddha mentioned. He only see action. Here, various conditions depend on each others and keep on changing. There is no single and constant thing. This is the conclusion. So here, in Buddhism, what the Buddha, he found in this, what conclusion, he add in two things. One is samsara, one is karma. It's very particular teaching. Samsara means something is round and round, continually processed and no beginning and no ending. Oh, this thing is really profound when we see things going on like that. But normally in life, we not see anything like that. We cut off the distance from the past, come to present, and go to the future. We cut off certain of our viewpoint, we accept too, present life into future life. We cut off from the past. Yeah, some of them we just have only present life and not mentioned, not connected to the past, not connected to the future. Close to scientists, close to that non-religious perspective, like that. And close to, right now we call that modern life. Just live in right now and here. We don't thought about future. We don't think about the past. We just live whatever we want. No, all this is what they think about. But something is action and consequential is in round circle. This perception is very important. Round circle is not direct. It's round circle. So round circle means something is hitting back to you and have the consequences accumulate in your mind. It will not go away. Like I hate you, the action gone, you know. Maybe I give you an action by body. Is that it gone? No, it just deep in the memory. You know, once the condition, how do dare I see you? Oh, that come out. If you don't say sorry, you will embarrass, you will anger, you will regret. You see? So that is called consequential. It's a continual process in accumulation. So I need to say sorry. If I don't say sorry, it will accumulation. Carry on process in the mental state. That is why the world is not finished. It continually process, especially human mind and body involved into it. It makes a big stress and changing of the world system. We all know it. Nothing make big change into danger like the human action involved into the system. We all know it. Human mind is power. Human body is power. Once you want to act. So here is something called karma. Karma means the law of cause and effect. As what we sow, good or bad seed, it will process into ripening. You see? So this is called seed to ripening, means wholesome seed or unwholesome seed. Once we act, mentally we think it, then maybe we're angry in the mind. You know, you need to stop. It continually process, maybe you will come out from your word. It continue process, it may be more power into the bodily action. Here, if it process like that, so wholesome and unwholesome have his own consequences by the cause, become the reality. Rationally, I accept it. That means come back to the life itself. You need to make your action have the wholesome consequences. So practice become reasonable. Practice become initial, important, maybe very, very important, only important for the world, for the life. Because if you're not self-disciplined, purification into self-control, then harm and hurt will be act. Then the life itself not going to overcome the stress. So from my understanding of him, from this understanding, so I may see it differently. So we come to the second page. Material world. This material world, we can go into, the four elements and the formations. Four elements, and the four elements create like what the body, like what we make the house and everything in the nature. So the nature, we call that ecology of all things. Now, this is called material world. Very important thing want to know, you can see the second one I quote. Yeah. Let me read it, then I can train my English. An ecosystem includes all the living things, plants, animals, organisms in a given area, interacting with each other and with their non-living environments, weather, earth, sun, soil, climate, atmosphere. In an ecological system, each organism has its own niche or role to play. This is the first one I quote. What is a simple definition of ecosystem? The simplest definition of an ecosystem is that it is a community or group of living organisms that live in and interact with each other in a specific environment. This is the definition. So ecology of the body is a big combination of all cells in a community. For me, I don't go alone. No aloneness in my life, because aloneness is against the ecosystem. Living being is a harmony in a big system, and human being also a harmony in a human world system. We need to work together, good or bad. Good, then we may last more longer in the relationship in a community. If we're bad to each other, fight to each other, argue to each other, then go back. Your action will make the consequences. You can't go alone. We need to go to market. We need to go to the farm. We need to consume everything between each other, isn't it? We can avoid all this support. So why we fight to each other, this and that? It not make sense to me. Not make sense. So in that way, I only serve and help. In my life, only serve and help. And in the bottom line, if it cannot work, I can give. Maybe keep the life away. Give. That's the only what I can do in the ecology system. But you can push things away. Nowhere. If you want to destroy something, you want them to disappear, that does not make sense. That will be react back. Like you're pushing the arrow. You're pushing the bow. So we know the law of ecosystem right now because the scientist, this one I call it ecologist dimension. We know this law. How many of us join in the discipline of this law? Very mindful, very curious, you know, very responsible. Not many, only some of them, only some of us is very joined into this system to protect the system. Most of us is just consume and wasted to make this ecosystem into bad shape. Especially politicians and merchants, because they are the one who plan the big action, the powerful action. If they go into unwholesome, the ecosystem go into unwholesome. Even though the scientists and the ecologists want to, you know, pay a duty and responsible, that's not powerful enough to make change. So you can see right now, New England, California, someplace, and some other place, the web of sea already enter into the land. We will expect not long ago, the small island in Pacific and in Atlantic, it will go because the web come. And as you can do something is try to rise up more, you know, sand to build it up higher. Who can do it? Who need to help them? Must be some country planning to help them. Otherwise, they will go melting from the North Pole and the South Pole. All the ice will rising. So ecology is very, very bad situation because of increasing population of living beings. Big one, and not mention a small one. We need to discipline in living according to this ecology system. But see how wise the Indian civilization in the past. They call that the yogi or the Brahmin, the samana, and what we call that the ascetic monk. See how they think in the past. They said that all creatures have his own spirit. Because of this, even though a plant, a tree, not simple to destroy it because there are something for the ghost or spirit who can live in that. They talk about that. And they say that in meditation, they see all the elements need to harmonize and come togetherness in order to form this existence. Then they say all the creature has its own harmonized system together. When things exist, should be their exist condition bring appearance to existence. So they don't use the action of human, especially the ascetic monk, the samana. They don't try to disturb the ecosystem. Like me, when I was take the ordination, they say after ordination, you don't step into the grass. Simple, just not mindful and step there. You don't step the creature. You need to mindful walk. Respect the life. Respect the plantation, like that. In a samana, when you practice to liberation, to renunciation, you don't try to, what we call it, violate when people harm you. You don't use the violence to react. What can you do? Run away or give up. Give up the life. When you see that when people want to kill you, harm you, you run away or you give up the life, it's very pessimistic. But when you see human being, it's because of you want to survive or you feel stressed, then you react by harming, by killing. It's not what to do. It creates more tension, more violence. You're not going to solve the problem of war. But if you lost your life, you still become a good example to give up. Eventually, the war cannot solve problem, then we need to keep up action like that. Then you come back to what? Peace. Look for peace. Look for harmony. Look for interrelationship in goodness. Okay, we go one more. This number 4, go back to the core teaching in Buddhism. So physic and mental world. We're back to the physic and mental world. So when mentioned about physic and mental world, we go to 2. One is called 4 modes of birth. Modes of birth. Yeah. The Buddha, he observed the living being's life. One is called born birth, like human being, other big animal. And one is called egg birth. Egg birth means the eggs, like chicken, snake, some fish, turtle, like that. You can name it. And spontaneous generation from warmth and moisture or heat moisture birth. Maybe it's more like organism, bacteria. The one that I still have a little bit confused and not quite understanding is the medical birth. Or what in here is manifestations birth. This is mentioned in Buddhism. I'm not quite understand, but I have some idea, try to be understand it, but it's still very difficult to accept it. It's talk about the manifestation. Means something is appear by noble personality, appear by secret training in the practice. So his life is not the above mentioned 3 kinds of birth. What is this? I think of something. Religious have his own experience. Religious have his own cause and effect. All the religions have something experience that not mentioned by science, not mentioned by an ordinary experience, have his own way to touching to something. If something is true, then his way of something connected to the truth or process. If not that, then you can mention about this very original body function. If it go aging, it go aging, then it go sick, and then it will decay. Why some practitioners or some not practitioner but good qualities of this mind and body, after he passed away, his body is not right. We call them mummy. I checked a lot of information in the spiritual life or religious life. After pass away, his bodily function is not the function what we are ordinarily have, but it go to mummy. This is something that's secret. And the secret life can have what we call that prediction. You can say something in the future. He can see something in the future coming. All this is called secret. Religious have something in his own thumb. That is something for me not quite understand yet. I don't mention like the science, but I just said that the body, this body and mind. In Buddhism, we call the body is the physical body. Mind is feeling, perception, mental formation, and consciousness is the mind, including all the perception, all the picture in the mind, like that. For me, it's very complicated. Complexity. Interrelated. Precise. If not precise, it not point to the truth. It's very precise. So the stress of this very body and mind are profound and subtle, the Buddha said. Experience and practice only by the wise. Before I met him and his teaching, nobody mentioned to me, my grandpa, my father, and other teacher, nobody mentioned to me. This body and mind can be penetrated to and can be released to freedom. Nobody mentioned that. What is this body and mind? And the two can connect it together. Liberation is possible. Nobody mentioned that to me. And there is no something to something. Solidity is not changeable, not changing and forever lasting. that perception all come to my culture and my education before I meet the Buddha. And the Chinese too, they say, you have a soul, you have a spirit, that is the only one connected to the God. Same teaching as the West. But when I meet the Buddha, he tell me something different. After that, I met the sign. The sign tell me something different. But the sign is not mentioned about how you can liberate it, overcome all the stress. The sign never mentioned, because the sign is from exterior observation to know about the truth. But the Buddha himself is from the internal self-reflection, self-concentrate, self-letting go, or self-penetrating into something stuck in the mind in order you are free from that. So the Buddha had something very important, make my life respect him, bound to him, is skillfully guided you from this bodily training into mental training. Skillful, like the science, you need to have a tool in order that you can observe to something, but the mental don't have the tool to practice to it. Science never give us any tool for the mental practice, the mental training, no tool. No tool to observe the mental quality. No tool to observe the mental activity. You go to another page. So for the mentality of mind and brain and mind, so here is mental world mentioned by the Buddha. The first one is clinging. The second one is conscious. So in Agama, these two words is, I'm very sensitive, these two words mentioned by existence. We have two. One is clinging to grabbing and existing. The second one is touching, conscious, and discriminate. So the first one is more right. The second one is very subtle. Need to processing, knowing the mental activity is very difficult. So training mindfulness, right mindfulness, processing into awareness. This is what the Buddha said, that the possible of human body and mind can be training, can be practiced. Awareness or awakening. So awareness means always aware. Keep processing the aware into right now and here, and not let it involve emotionally uninvolved. The Buddha, his mind is like that. So emotionally uninvolved is my aim, the word I trust and the word I evaluate for my life itself. So here you can see, I quote a teaching. In Buddhist teachings, equanimity or peace of mind is achieved by detaching oneself from the circles of craving that produces dukkha. Dukkha means stress or dissatisfaction. So by achieving a mental state where we can detach from all the passions, needs, and wants of life, you free yourself and achieve a state of transcendent bliss and well-being. This is what I call. So Buddha's mentality, do we think there is this passionate person? For a scientist, we may try to make a destination. Then we do our investigate into this end. So you have a goal, then you try to investigate, find a way come to this goal. So we do science, lab, contemplating, in order that we trying to find, is it can be targeted to this goal, we call science. Scientists do it like that, professional training and action like that. So in a Buddhist world, it's also do the same. So for me is the first thing need to accept there is a dispassionate person. A lot of reading, a lot of contemplating. Is it this word by the Buddha's mouth make sense? According to my knowledge analysis, can I accept it? So you need to build up something in the value to match to something. Then in the daily life, keep on observing material phenomenon, physical phenomenon, mental phenomenon. So try lots of possible, keep focus, keep in this habitual pattern, match to it. That is what I want to say. Okay, last part, maybe not have much time. When I do a lot of reading in the Buddha Dharma, means Buddha's teaching, I see the word three realms. Realms means some state called realms. So he mentioned about three realms: desire realm, form realm, formless realm, like that. He mentioned. So the desire realm, we are very easy to understand. It's very close to our life and our mental state, like that. So desire realm is just clinging to love and attached to consciousness of the six sense basis. Now, this is called desire realm. So you see our mind and then our attention, our mindful, just not run away from the six sense changing and grabbing and clinging like that. It just keep on in that circle. We call that desiring. So processing into exterior and into inner realm, remembering. See? So we're grabbing from exterior monkey mind. And then if not grabbing, we're grabbing in our memory in monkey mind. Just changing in perception, changing in your, what we call that, the object. And something that for me right now is really makes sense that to overcome my stress and let my mind not burning is have the desire of practice, have the desire of discipline, have the desire of processing into renunciate. Let go. Let go of what? Sixth sense contact. It really makes sense to me right now. And I see when the people who come to my life to try to make the friendship, their mind is burning there. Even though they are come to the monastery, their mind is not in the monastery. The monastery means renunciate, but the mind is not renunciate. They are here, but the mind is there. Yeah, so right now, have the desire of practice, have the desire of discipline, have the desire of abandon. It makes sense to me, because that when we talk to the form rim, means not desire rim. The form rim is what I mentioned. He can target his mind into a very simple object and focus in that. So the samana, the yogi in the Indian perspective is very profound. They don't have political. They don't go politic. They don't go to this and that. Try to put up your opinion, let people to accept it, try to be sharing this and that action, so they make this group into action like that. They don't. They go alone. They go to try to, I need to find how to balance my mind and body in order I can help others. So what the form rim means, purification of desire into complexity. I go to Spanish. There is a mountain called Mansala mountain. It's a Christian, Catholic, I think Catholic and Christian faith there. So when I go there, a lot of visitors because of old histories, mountain, spirit mountain of Christianity. So when I go there, I saw the mountain in this mountain community. They still have a mountain up there. So when the father come up there, so they're touching into the heaven, then they only, you put foot, he carry up, he never come up from there. He just stay there forever of his life. Challenging. When you come up there, means you give up the life connected to the world. And they have another place in the corner there. You need to far go to the corner. That corner is, before you go up there, you go there. So this secluded life, you secluded there. Before you get the base, go to up there. And I just really happy because this community life very crowded, very busy. And that is aloneness. Secluded yourself there in order that you power yourself into good quality and habitual pattern. And you come back to the society with free. Or you come back to the heaven with free. So I asked the father when I come to suddenly meet them. I said, "Oh, you have this, you have this." I said, "I cannot choose them because connected to heaven, but I am here, connected to the secluded life. Can I go there? Oh, you are welcome." Because not many people or the monastic life, they are looking for it. There's still a lot of empty there. So form realm and formless realm is challenging of our ordinary life. So let me conclude a little bit in the one more page, then we end it here. Here is what I want to say a little bit. I quote from the books that I read. All that is conditioned. The Buddha's evaluations of the conditioned world and the habitual experiences of beings immersed in it. This passage comes from the Buddha's solitary reflections in the first weeks following his enlightenment. This world is anxious, afflicted by sense contact. Even what is called the self is in fact unsatisfactory, for no matter what is conceived, the fact is ever other than that. Always becoming something other. The world is helped by being, afflicted by being, and yet delights in being. Yet what it releases beings fear, or what it fears is pain. Now this holy life is leave to abandon suffering. This is what I read from the books of the island. I read it and I feel joy. I feel I am still not keep up my walking step in the path. So I see I am in the path, still walking there. So I feel joyful in reading. This is what I have this years of reflection, back to a lot of study and a lot of reflection and a lot of practice. So I read the Agama and I read some English. So this is what I want to share with you today. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.